The Engero Tales, Tales of the Soul. The Ring in the Night. The moon hung low over the small village of Biwanga. The air was still, the only sound coming from crickets and the occasional distant hoot of an owl. Mukosa, a 27-year-old fisherman, had just finished repairing his nets for the next day's fishing trip. His small wooden home was humble, a single-room structure with a thatched roof, a wooden bed, a clay water pot, and a rickety table holding an old rotary phone he had inherited from his late father. As he extinguished the flickering kerosene lamp and prepared to sleep, the phone rang suddenly, its sharp tone cutting through the silence of the night. Startled, Mukosa froze. The phone rarely rang, and certainly not at this hour. Heart pounding, he approached it cautiously and lifted the receiver. "Hello," he whispered. A deep, distorted voice on the other end whispered, "Do not go to the river tomorrow." Mukosa's breath caught. "Who is this?" he asked, but the line had gone dead. He stood there for a long time, gripping the phone tightly, his mind racing. Was it a prank? A warning? Or something worse? The warning spreads. The next morning, Mukosa woke up with the voice still echoing in his head. He decided to share the strange call with his best friend, Zubida. She was a 25-year-old woman with a warm smile, braided hair, and a practical air about her. Zubida was a tailor who worked in the village market, and she always had a sensible take on things. Zubida listened intently as Mukosa recounted the midnight call. "That's unsettling," she said, adjusting her yellow-patterned kitenge dress. "We should tell Omokoma. He knows the stories of this place better than anyone." Omokama, the village elder, was known for his wisdom. When they entered his thatched hut, the air inside was thick with the smell of herbs and incense. Omokama sat cross-legged on a mat, his white beard flowing down his chest, and his back cloth robe draped over his shoulders. When Mukosa explained the call, Omokama's face darkened. "This is no ordinary warning," he said gravely. "The midnight caller is an old spirit of the river. When the caller speaks, it is a matter of life or death." The elder's words sent a chill through Mukosa and Zubida. "What should we do?" Zubida asked. "Stay away from the river," Omokama warned. "And pray that it is enough." The Forbidden River. Despite Omokama's warning, a group of young fishermen decided to head to the river that evening, dismissing the story as superstition. Mukosa and Zubida stood at a distance, watching the fishermen laughing as they paddled their canoes into the shimmering water. The setting sun cast an orange glow over the scene, but there was an unnatural stillness in the air. Suddenly, a thick fog began to roll in from the river, enveloping the boats. The air turned icy cold, and the laughter of the fishermen was replaced by muffled screams. Mukosa and Zubida stood frozen in horror as the fog grew denser, making the boats and their occupants vanish from sight. "What's happening?" Zubida whispered, clutching Mukosa's arm. "We need to leave," Mukosa said, his voice trembling. They turned and ran back to the village, their footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. That night, the phone rang again in Mukosa's home. Hesitating, he picked up the receiver. The same deep voice said, "The river will claim more if the truth stays buried." The truth unveiled. Determined to uncover the truth, Mukosa and Zubida began digging into the village's history. They interviewed elders and searched old records until they pieced together a dark secret. Decades ago, a wandering healer had come to the village, offering to cure a deadly illness that had plagued the community. The villagers, however, had accused her of witchcraft and driven her away. Before leaving, she cursed the river, declaring it would take lives until the villagers made amends. The midnight caller, they realized, was the spirit of the healer, trying to warn them of the danger. Mukosa and Zubida gathered the villagers and convinced them to hold a cleansing ritual to lift the curse. Guided by Omokama, they performed the ritual by the river, offering food, flowers, and prayers to the healer's spirit. The villagers sang traditional songs and danced in unison, their voices rising into the night sky. The final call. As the last notes of the villagers' song faded into the night, the fog lifted from the river, and the missing fisherman stumbled ashore, unharmed but shaken. The villagers erupted into cheers, their relief palpable. That night, the phone rang one last time in Mukosa's home. This time, the voice was calm. "The curse is lifted," it said simply. Mukosa hung up, feeling a strange mix of gratitude and unease. The village celebrated for days, honoring Mukosa and Zubida for their bravery. But every time the phone rang at midnight, Mukosa would pause, his heart skipping a beat, wondering if the midnight caller would return with another warning. The end. Subscribe, like and share our channel Engero Tales, the Tales of the Soul. Don't miss an episode as new tales await you every week. Let the stories awaken your spirit and fill your soul. Watch. Share.